So how has being a mum changed my life? Massively. 100%. I don't think anything ever fully prepares you for how it does change your life. Majority positives, a few negatives, but they are by far outweighed by the positives. You have to completely adapt to everything, which I think you do prepare yourself for, but you don't quite realise how much you get kind of lulled, I think, when they're newborns into a false sense of security, thinking that they'll just sleep through, certain things like if you go to the pub, you can just put them in the pram and they'll just stay there. And then they turn into a toddler and there's absolutely no chance of ever going out for a meal ever again. So there's a lot of sacrifices, but you've made a child and they're there and they're wonderful. So it's definitely all worth it. So what did I find the most challenging after having Cooper? Weirdly for me, which is bizarre because I love being out, I love socialising, like I've never been an anxious person. Leaving the house was a huge thing for me. I just think it's because I've always been very, very in control. If I've left the house, I know exactly where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, I know how I'm going to get there. I dress myself, I'm prepared. Whereas when you have a new baby, like I remember for the first ever time, it was winter when Cooper was born, it was January, and I think it just snowed. And I was literally panic stricken because I had no idea what on earth you dress your baby in when you first had a baby to go out in 1 degree. I just had no idea. So I think that was something that I found really, really challenging because I wasn't expecting it as well. Okay, so my funniest parenting story was probably when I was driving back up north to see my mum and dad on my own with Cooper, and he's not the best traveller. He's a bit of a sickie, especially if we put the iPad on. So if you have a sick child, just stay away from the iPad, which is tough, I know. And yeah, he vomited everywhere, but like proper toddler vomit. So, he'd eaten food and it was just, it was a mess. And I had to try and clear it all up on my own in a service station, like just scooping. It was bad. It was a bad time. But I think I laughed rather than cried because you've got to do one or the other, really. And then I think I rang my mum and she was like, come on, you're nearly home, you can do it. Yeah, that was probably one of my funniest stories. So what bit of advice would I give a new parent? It would be just to do what you think is the right thing to do. There are so many people that tell you all sorts of things, and obviously there's a lot of professionals that have really, really amazing advice, but you get a lot of other mums telling you that this is how it should be done, this is the right way to do things, or even grandmas. Sometimes, not my mum or mother-in-law, but some grandmas are very set in their ways. Oh, this is how we used to do it, and that doesn't harm them, blah, that's fine. Do what you think is right. Use your mother's intuition and your gut feeling. Just try not to pay too much attention to people that don't know your baby, basically. What's the worst parenting advice anyone's ever given you and why? So it's not so much advice, it was more being told off for something, which I think is something that you should never ever be told off for as a new parent. So I had Cooper's health check, I think it was 6 weeks. So I was a very new mum. I was on my own. It was probably one of the few times I'd ventured out of the house by myself. I was very hormonal, and I was 10 minutes late to my appointment. 10 minutes, come on, as a new mum, there definitely should be a window. And I walked in, I was like, oh, hi, I'm so sorry. My baby was sick just before we left, and really flustered. I was like, I'm 10 minutes late, whatever. Anyway, so I sat down and the nurse came out and she was like, asked for a list of people for the 10:30 appointment, and mine was like the 10:15 one. So I stood up, I was like, oh, sorry, excuse me, I was 10:15, but I was a little bit late because my baby was sick. And this nurse told me off in front of the entire waiting room of other new mums for being late, and made me cry. And I stood there in the waiting room holding Cooper, crying. And yeah, really, I should have actually probably reported this lady, because she made me feel so stupid. But I didn't, because I felt bad for her. Because she did when she saw how upset I got, she